Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Bruce?
Lionel.
This
Lionel?
is,
Lionel?
yeah,
Lionel?
headquarters to Bruce Wilson. Headquarters to Bruce. Yeah.
Go ahead, headquarters, first here.
It's, you know what it's time for?
Time to go to the lobby and get a hot dog?
No, it's actually time for an oil change on my car. It says that
Oh, okay.
I should have got it 600 miles ago.
Boy. Now, do you run full synthetic?
It depends on the kind of mood I'm in. If I don't feel like spending that much money, I'll just go over to Costco and buy myself five quarts of regular mineral oil.
Right, and pick up a hot dog and a soda while you're there.
And then pick up a hot dog and a soda. $1.50 is the best. It's the best hot dog and all the soda you can drink.
Indeed.
And it's the best deal going.
So I'm glad you told us it's time for an oil change on your car, because I'm sure all the AML viewers are ecstatic to know that.
Well, you know what? I do it myself because I like working on my cars, and there's not a whole lot you can do on more modern vehicles. It's not like working on a 67 Chevy, trust me.
No, you can't play with the points or any of that stuff.
Adjust the tappets.
Yeah, adjust the carb, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We're trying to do an intro here, and Jim keeps clearing his voice, clearing his throat.
Oh.
He's supposed to be in the green room, and he's already sitting at the desk.
Oh, well.
He's kind of fidgety.
He is.
He's one of them fidgety guys.
He's one of them nervous guys.
Yeah. And he looks like Joe D'Amato. He could be Joe D'Amato's brother. That's unsettling. Don't tell him that when he comes into the studio. And they're both Vietnam vets. Both Joe D'Amato and Jim Gore are both Vietnam vets. How cool is that?
That is very cool. Very,
very cool. Certainly something they didn't want to do, but they went and did what they had to do because that's what you guys do. All right. So we're going to do another edition of the Kelly Questions. And this time we're going to interview Jim Gore, who is a master model railroader. Jim, come on into the studio. You're already here now, so we're kind of blowing the whole thing. You just walked right in, plopped yourself down at the seat. You're actually
it's like you've been there before, and he figured he was at home and made himself comfortable.
Just so anxious.
Yeah,
see, that's why we got to keep that door locked.
Constantly have to keep the door locked.
Yeah. One of these days we'll learn.
Yeah, he's like Spoon, eh? He just like does whatever the heck he wants.
Hi, how you doing?
We love this. Spoon, we love you. No matter where you are right now, we love you, Spoon. We love you.
Take a picture if you can.
Yeah. Spoon never takes selfies. I don't know why.
A lot of times he can't because of his employer's situation. They say he can't do that.
Well, I have a hard time imagining that he's listening to a modeler's life while he's operating his locomotive.
This would be very true. He would not be doing that.
No, he more than likely is listening to this either A, while working on something at the workbench, doing another review for the modeler's Model Railroad News, or he's driving.
Maybe he's building his caboose model.
Or he's driving from Manitowoc to home, or vice versa.
Yes.
Or wherever. I don't know where else Spoon listens to the podcast.
Maybe he's on his way over to the Lambeau Field area.
Yeah. What is it with this Jim Gore guy? So by now, you know what the best part of this is? By the time this is broadcast, Jim Gore will have had at least a half a dozen snowfalls in New Hampshire.
Yes.
And the romance of it is long gone. Yeah, no problem. I can handle it.
6 feet again.
How long is the driveway, Jim?
About 75 feet.
Yeah. Good luck with that, buddy.
So do you have one of the big tractor-mounted blowers?
I have a tractor, but no blower.
You might want to think of one. One of those blowers.
It's got a plow on it.
Yeah, you might want to think of one of those blowers.
So we're talking about, we're talking to Jim Gore, who's Master Model Railroader number
525.
525, and you inherited a farm in New Hampshire.
Yes.
So one day you decided you and your wife were going to move from New Hampshire or from Florida to New Hampshire?
That's my wife's ancestral home.
Wow, that's cool. That's very cool that you guys inherited that.
Yeah.
Does it need a lot? Was it a farm? Was it a working farm at one point?
Yes, it was a dairy farm.
Wow. Yeah, and you got about 30 head of cattle there.
They had more than that.
Yeah. Dairy farming can be very prosperous. Can be. It's a hard work though. It is the hardest work of all, dairy farming.
That's what I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to this. That's what I understand. This guy, it's a little different than stepping out of your. You know what the best way I can describe the difference between living in Florida and living in the snow belt is Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah.
Because in Florida, I can decorate my house for Christmas all day long because I'm in shorts. It's 70 degrees.
Yeah, no big deal putting up the lights.
No big deal.
Decorate the palm tree.
Decorate the palm tree. Put light. Blah blah blah. So yeah. So that's. But at home, you got to drag the ladder out. Then you got to trudge through the snow. It's a lot different. Good luck with that, Jim.
And then the wind's blowing and the wind chill's
The wind's blowing, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And the one ball doesn't work, and you unscrew it, and you drop it in the snow, and you can see where it went into the snow.
Yeah.
You just can't find it in the snow.
It may resurface in the spring.
Yeah, it may resurface in the spring. Okay, Jim. So anyways, for those of you who don't know, we interviewed Jim quite some time ago, back in the late 60s, I believe.
It seems that way.
Yeah, it seems that way. And Jim is a super interesting guy. He's a professor of biology, was a retired professor of biology at University of Florida.
Tampa,
I knew that. Home of the Spartans.
That's right.
He's the at-large North American director for the NMRA. He is also the guy that manages modeling with the Masters.
Yep.
And you're the NMRA contest director and AP director for the Sunshine region. That'll be fun for you to doing that in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that will be interesting. That's a long flight.
Yeah. Anyways, so now we're going to ask you a series of hard-hitting questions.
Okay.
Called the Kelly questions. These questions were invented specifically for the A Modeler's Life podcast by our very own Jim Kelly, who lives in
Jim
Medford.
Kelly.
Jim,
the guy who used to be quarterback for the Bills. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name?
Bruce S. Kelly.
Oh yeah, Bruce Kelly, Jim Kelly. I can hardly. I'm 65. I can't even imagine what the show's going to be like when I'm 80.
Oh, wow. You're a young punk.
Yeah. But see, yet somehow I seem to have established that I'm not moving to the snow belt.
You're already there, yeah.
How old are you, Jim?
70.
Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, we're going to ask you a series of questions. Bruce Kelly, not Jim Kelly, former quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, but Bruce Kelly, who is the president of every model railroad club within 102 miles of Medford, Oregon, the original super fan of A Modeler's Life, and the creator of the Kelly questions. He developed these questions over a period of time to give us an insight into you as a model railroader.
Okay.
Are you ready? You have put on the tinfoil hat?
Psychological test.
Yeah, it's a psychological test.
Oh, wonderful.
Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Steam.
Any particular steam?
Narrow gauge. Narrow gauge steam.
All right. And you model an ON30.
Correct.
And have you ridden, I'm assuming because you spent quite a bit of time in the southwestern part of the United States, you must have been to Chama and Silverton and all that?
Oh, yes, I have. Many times.
Many times. I've never been there. I got to go there. I should put that on my list of things to do.
That's on my list of stuff to do, yeah.
It's a bucket list trip. But Durango to Silverton's wonderful.
All right, cool. And that is...
you've done the trip out of Chama as well?
Yes, the Cumbres and Toltec. Yes.
No. Cumbres. I've never heard of why can't I talk, Bruce? Enunciate it that way.
Yes. I'm not a professional, so I can't say.
All right.
It's called the Cumbres and Toltec.
All right. Okay, you'd never believe that I've seen a psychiatrist for the last 4 years, would you?
Buy him some coffee next time.
Mr. Strang, you've got cancer, and as an added bonus, we're going to send you over to a psychiatrist. One of us, either her or I, are going to end up in the funny farm.
Maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both. Favorite prototype railroad?
Denver and Rio Grande Western.
Okay, and that's narrow gauge, right?
Correct. That's
Eh.
standard gauge too.
Denver and Rio
It
Grande.
was at one time.
Yeah,
Yep.
Denver. Okay, Denver and Rio Grande Western, is that the DR and GW? That's standard gauge, exactly. How come
Right.
one of the narrow gauge railroads isn't one of your favorite prototypes?
It is the DNRGW, the Chile line, also called the Santa Fe Division.
All right, so Denver and Rio Grande Western, DR and GW, wasn't that what our buddy little Mike Wachowski models, Bruce?
Yeah. It's one of those railroads that's both.
That was both. Yep.
Okay. During what years was it narrow gauge and standard gauge?
Well,
Yes.
most of the lines were abandoned by 1942-43, except for the division from Durango to Silverton.
And how did you end up as that being your favorite prototype?
Well, my father took me along the Rio Grande fly fishing, when I was a young boy, and I couldn't understand what this big sidewalk we were walking on was. And he said, this used to be the old roadbed for the railroad. And I said, no way, because it was so undulating and around these tight curves and things like that. It had been abandoned in 1942. And so I started just researching about this thing called the Chile line, and found out it was a no moneymaker from the beginning, and it went downhill from there. But it was an interesting little railroad.
And how do
And for those who don't know, why did they call it the Chile line?
Well, along the adobe buildings all up and down the Rio Grande Valley from Chama all the way down to Santa Fe, there's during the fall, people hang their chilies out to dry, and they're called a ristra. And they have these long rows and rows of chilies hanging outside their buildings. And so the Santa Fe division became known as the Chile line.
how much does a chili pelt go for?
A chili pelt? Well, it's pretty rare, but they go for about $10.
If you're rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
I'd rather ride on them.
Okay. Is there any what's been your favorite railroad to ride on?
Probably the Blue Train, which runs from Cape Town, South Africa, to Harare in Zimbabwe.
Okay. And how long were you in South Africa?
A couple years, 2 years.
Okay. And what age were you then?
This was in 1989 and 1988, so I was 31, 32.
Okay. All right. If you could time travel, what era would you travel to so you could model it kind of as present day?
That would be the mid to late 1940s.
All right. And you probably time travel to
New Mexico.
There you go. Which is where you were born.
Which is where I was born.
What was your first model train?
It was a Lionel Hudson set that my father bought for me.
At the age of 4 or 5, probably.
About 6, yeah.
All right. See, the difference between you and me, when you came down the stairs for Christmas morning, your trains had my name on them.
That's correct. They did indeed.
Even back then, I was scheming.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. What's your favorite model railroad scale?
Right now, ON30.
Okay. What do you think it'll be next week?
It could be ON30.
So when you move to New Hampshire, are you going to build a new model railroad?
Yes, I am. It will be an expanded version of the current one, the JNRG, the Jemez and Rio Grande.
Okay, cool. And how much expanded? Because the one you have now is, would you say 12 by 16?
12
roughly?
by 16, right. It's going to be around 30 by 45.
Wow, that'll be fantastic.
I hope so.
Yeah. How often do you work on your, you're fairly, you're retired now and you really enjoy the hobby. How much would you say you work on your hobby per week?
Per week, probably between 15 and 20 hours.
Okay. And what project do you have going right at this moment?
I'm building a it's a maintenance away car that is essentially well, it's hard to describe. It's a tool car. Let's just say it's a tool car.
Okay. All right. It's a tool car. Okay. So your favorite model railroad scale is ON30.
Mm-hmm.
True or false? Is N scale dead?
No, but I can't see it.
Well, you know why you can't see it? Do you know why you can't see it?
Why is that?
Because it's lost in the hobby.
I don't think so.
It's not so much dead as it's lost in the hobby. It's trying to find itself. Man, N scale nowadays runs so well.
Oh, yes.
Oh my goodness, it runs so well. It's hard not to be an N scaler.
I agree. It's beautiful.
It
compared
is.
to when I tried it.
It's like modeling with a Swiss watch now. What's your favorite model railroad?
Well, I'm going to say the Gore Undefeated.
That's a good choice. That's one of Bruce's favorites.
I had a chance to see John Allen and wrote to him and asked him if I could come and visit his layout. And he said, sure, come on down this weekend. And he chose the weekend that I was being shipped out to Vietnam. And when I got back, the Gore Undefeated was burned down and John was dead. So I never got to see it.
So this would have been what year?
It would have been 1971.
So you actually corresponded with John Allen?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, that's pretty cool, eh, Bruce?
Yeah, it is very cool.
And so you never talked to him by phone or anything, but you did correspond with him by letter.
Yes.
And you were given an invitation to the Gore Undefeated. So there's not a whole lot of people that can say that.
Well, I would like to have actually seen it.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. I know that'd be a memory and a half. That's like for me seeing Alan McClellan's Virginia and Ohio. I got to see it 3 times total.
Wow.
And the very first time I got to operate it all by myself for about half an hour, which was spectacular.
Oh, I can imagine.
Okay, moving right along. Next question is, who's the most influential model railroader for you?
Probably John Allen as well.
Okay. And Bruce and I always talk about which is our favorite episode, Bruce, or our favorite episode?
I like the October 67 that had the center spread in, the old train on the High Bridge.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
That was, that one, I wore that one out. And then in January 69, was there not another?
That's for their anniversary special. They did one of the passenger train running over the railroad, yes.
And that's the one that had the fold out on it, wasn't it?
No, the fold out was October 67.
I knew that, just testing you.
Okay.
Okay, Jim, select one of the following as your favorite. Bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical?
Oh, of those, scenery.
Okay. And have you always been, scenery's always been your favorite?
Well, that and building structures, which I consider to be part of the scenery.
That's a very good point. Excellent point. So scenery and building structures. All right.
Mm-hmm.
If you could give somebody starting out in the hobby just one item and cost was no object, what would it be?
Probably a DCC system.
Okay. We've had that answer a few times, eh, Bruce?
We have.
And any particular DCC system?
Well, I run Digitrax, but I'd give them an NEC.
We have more and more people say that.
I think I think a lot of them are NEC fans versus Digitrax. Yeah.
Yeah. NEC is very user friendly, I would say.
It is. It's much easier than Digitrax, but I'm so invested in Digitrax and know it so well. It's fine for me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But for a beginner, if NEC is very user friendly. It's not NEC, it's NCE. That's the system we're talking about. The NEC Corporation is a Japanese multinational information technology and electronics company headquartered in Tokyo. The company was originally known as the Nippon Electric Company, but was rebranded as NEC in 1983. While on the other hand, the NCE Corporation, which is owned by our buddy Jim Scores, is located in Webster, New York, Not far from. As a matter of fact, it's not far from the waffle factory, and just down the street from Rubino's Italian Submarines. But anyways, the NCE has been developing and manufacturing DCC products since 1983 and has grown into a full-time electronics design and manufacturing firm devoted entirely to the development and sale of products for the control of model railroads. And they build an amazing array of products. They're located in Webster, New York, which is just outside of Rochester. And actually, they're not far from Wegmans and not far from the Waffle Factory and just down the street from a Rubino's Italian Submarines sandwiches. Submarines sandwiches. So that's it. NEC, multinational corporation and located in Tokyo. NCE, multinational corporation located in Webster, New York, just outside of Rochester. That's all we got. So that's it. So back to our, what do you call the Kelly questions? I don't know. Is it a show? Anyways, back to the Kelly questions. And for God's sakes, drive carefully.
I think so.
And our friend Jim Scores from NCE is in Webster, New York. The headquarters of NCE. Jim Scores is a great guy, and their customer service is spectacular. And he's one of the official sponsors of the Modeler's Life podcast.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's yet to pay us, but he's still an official sponsor because he's NCE and it's Jim Scores.
You're using the wrong collection agency.
Well, we've never actually sent him a bill because we never actually could put any monetary value on it.
Good point.
Yeah, because, you can't really tell who's listening and who's not. But we do know that you've listened to every episode and some of them twice.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Yes.
Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
Online.
Any particular online retailer?
Not really. I go where the manufacturer is that I need at the time. I wouldn't favor one over the other, although I do order a lot from, I guess probably Micromark. Okay.
Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff. And this is a great time as the North American Director at Large, the manager of the Modeling with the Masters program, and the AP chairman for the Sunshine region. This is a great opportunity for you to talk about.
Yes. What would you like me to talk about?
Bruce, should we help him anymore? I'll give him one more. We'll give him one more try. He buys lots of stuff at Micromark. And as the director at large for North America of the NMRA, the National Model Railroad Association, the manager of the Modeling with the Masters program, which is a great program for people to improve their modeling skills, the chairman of the AP program in the Sunshine State, this is a great opportunity for him to speak about
the partnership program.
I was going to
go.
I'd be happy to talk about the partnership program. Actually, Micromark was one of the first partners, and they offer about a 25% discount for NMRA members. You can pay for your membership to the NMRA with about 2 orders, at least 2 of my orders.
Is it really 25% discount?
That's what they give, 15 to 25%. Mm-hmm.
Depending on the item.
Depending upon the item and what they're feeling like at the time.
Okay.
Yep.
So we can say for sure it's 15%. Sometimes it's higher.
For sure it's 15. Yeah, sometimes it's higher.
And can you think of some of the other people in the partnership program?
Oh boy, not off the top of my head, but
Clever Models is one.
Clever Models is one, that's for sure. I talked them into that last year. There are any number of a lot of the smaller manufacturers have hopped on board. Not many of the big manufacturers have because they don't want to compete with their distributors, for example. But a lot of the smaller mom and pop operations have hopped on and offer anywhere between 10 and 15% discounts. A lot of them offer free shipping. And the list is on the NMRA webpage.
Is it possible Bear Creek Model Railroad is one of the partners?
Not yet.
Okay, well, you might want to tell them. You might want to tell the NMRA to take them off the website then.
Oh, they are on there?
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sakes!
How about Cat's Paw Innovations?
I couldn't even tell you what that is.
CMR Products.
CMR Products is, yes.
East Coast Circuits.
East Coast Circuits, recent ones, yes.
Gator Foam.
Gator Foam, yep. I talked to them just recently.
Grapevine Finnage Railroad.
Oh, yeah, that one is an interesting one. I think that one's put in the wrong place, but for now it's on the partnership program.
Great Decals, Green Frog Productions, Hot Wire Foam Factory, Jason's Brass Poles, The KISS Method, Lark Products, Logic Rail Technologies, Micromart, Minuteman Scale Models, Model Railroad Benchwork, Model Train Catalog, Modeler Decals and Paints, Motrack Models. Now I got to keep going because I started. MRC, OK Engines, Old
It's
West
a long list.
Ramtrack, R Circuits, Rusty Stumps.
Stumps, yeah.
Wasn't he shortstop for the Cleveland Indians from 47?
I thought it was the Cubs.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think he got traded, didn't he?
Got traded partway through the season, I think.
Yeah, well, he started out with the Indians in 47, 48. And then, of course, there was that whole thing with the owner's daughter.
Yeah.
And
that's why I got traded to Cubs.
Yeah, the next thing you know, he's playing deep left field for the Cubs. Scale model plans, scale coat print, paint, scenery solutions, showcase models, team track models, the Unscale Architect, Old Depot Gallery. That's our buddy Bob Frischella. Man, there's an artist and a half. Train installations, Train Show Inc., Train Masters TV, U-Gears, Unreal Details, USA Airbrush, Wi-Fi Model Railroad. Oh, I know what we should talk to Jim about, Bruce.
What's that?
We should talk to him about our Scale Legends podcast, and the NMRA could put it on their website.
There you go.
There you go. That's a great idea. All right, moving right along. Where were we? Oh yeah, Model Railroad Supplies. What is your favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
I would say probably the Narrow Gauge Convention, National Narrow Gauge Convention.
It does quite well, doesn't it?
It does. It gets about the same attendance as the NMRA National does.
And where was it last year?
The Narrow Gauge Convention was in Sacramento. It just finished last week.
Did you go?
No, I didn't.
Where's it?
I was in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Going, this is beautiful. Well, it is in August.
It is.
Yeah. Where is it next year?
I want to say St. Louis.
Is it in the
same place as the National?
Yep. Really? The NMRA, and so it's going to be everything's happening in St. Louis next year.
Yep.
Home of the Cardinals.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I would just say the dreaded Cardinals. I'm a Cubs fan.
Yeah. Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Regular.
Salty or sweet?
Salty. Dogs
or cats?
Cats.
Do you have one?
No, they have passed on.
Okay. Are you gonna? You're probably gonna inherit some at the farm.
Maine Coon cats.
Maine Coon cats.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's a Maine? Oh, wow. Why did you go wow, Bruce?
Because they're big hairy beasties.
They're big hairy cats.
They're beautiful cats, dude.
They're beautiful cats, and they've got 6 toes.
So do I.
Yeah, but most people don't.
You've seen most people's feet, have you?
I keep looking.
What's your favorite hot dog condiments?
Mustard, onions, and dill relish.
Excellent. That is the classic game dog right there. Your mustard, relish, and onions. Perfect. Have you ever been bungee jumping?
No.
Good.
But to be fair, he has been shot off an aircraft carrier.
That's true. That's as the fight in an F-4 Phantom jet fighter.
That's correct.
And what speed do they hit when they hit the end of the aircraft carrier?
About 160 knots.
And what is the distance of the catapult? Do you know?
Oh gosh, no. It's about 125 feet, as I recall.
Holy mackerel! That must be some machine. Here's a question I've always wanted.
Big steam-powered machine. Yep.
Yeah. Here's a question I've always wanted to. It's always rolled around in my brain for years and years and years. How did they invent aircraft carriers? Like here's what I envision. One day somebody comes up with a great idea and says, if we could take planes and fly them off of ships, we could have them closer to wherever there's trouble in the world. But at some point, somebody's got to say, Bob, here's what we want you to do. Jump in this plane and see if you can take off from this ship. Somebody had to come up with the idea, and it's like, it's like a biplane, and the guys, a bunch of guys push it, and they get it going. Okay, well, that didn't work.
Actually, I don't know the early history, but I do know that the first aircraft carrier was the Langley, and they flew biplanes off of it back before or during the middle of World War I. So they had it. They had an idea back that far.
I envision the first one going off the end of the deck, and then there's about 20 guys standing right at the edge of the deck, looking down, going, okay, so maybe we need a bit more speed.
Maybe a bit.
Okay, so if you were a beer can, what size would you be?
Oh, just a 12 ounce is fine.
Yeah. What's your favorite beer?
Ooh, right now it's Newcastle Brown Ale.
Okay. And where does Newcastle Brown Ale come from?
Newcastle in Great Britain.
Okay. And can you get it? Can you get it in North America?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you get anything in New Hampshire?
Moxie.
yeah, Moxie. There you go. Everything you need to know. So here's the scenario. It's like the sixth snowstorm of the season. You're sick and tired of it. You just cleaned out the driveway. The snowplow comes by and fills it all in. You go to clean all that out. You run out of gas. You trudge into the garage. There's no gas in the gas tank. Now you got to shovel out the driveway to get the car out or get the truck out to get down to the gas station to get gas. And you think, when you do all that, you think, you know what? I'm going to go inside and get myself a lovely refreshment. You open the fridge, and there's nothing but Moxie in it.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I think I have to call my wife.
Yeah. You might want to keep that place in Florida.
I think so.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Oh, probably 5.
Okay, so you got your sneakers.
Right.
Dress shoes.
My walkers and my dress shoes and some flip-flops.
Do you get a pedicure?
No.
This is a new question we've added. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Oh, sour cherry.
Sour cherry? Oh, that's interesting, eh, Bruce?
Yeah.
It's always fun to add a new question.
Especially when it takes the questioner by surprise as well.
Yeah. And what's the correct answer, Bruce?
Round?
No.
Round.
No, you're an engineer. The correct answer is
3.1415926?
Exactly.
Oh.
Okay, how about this one? This one's a little easier. What's your favorite Bobby Goldsboro song?
Oh, my God.
I don't think he did that one.
No, I know.
Let's see. Bobby Goldsboro. I don't think I had. Is there a favorite? Is there a Bobby Goldsboro song worth listening to?
Absolutely. It was the Grammy Award winner in 1967. See the tree, how big it's grown.
Yeah, I know. I know that song.
Honey.
I know.
Yeah, that's your favorite Bobby Goldsboro song.
It is.
Yes, that's the stock answer. But we had one person came in with a high hard one and blew it right by us when he rattled off something else. And we said, "Huh?"
Yeah.
I usually skip Honey whenever it comes up on my iPod. So.
Yeah, you may skip it, but you added it, so there you go. You got to figure that one.
Yeah, I did.
That's an interesting feature about today's world, Bruce. Yes. I'll be listening to songs that I've added to my iPhone.
And you're thinking, why did I
put that song on?
What was I thinking about when I put that on there?
Yeah. What mood was I in when I went, oh, yeah, put that one on?
Yeah.
What mood was I in when I put in,
Honey?
Yeah. If you
asked Madeline that question?
No, I haven't asked Dr. Lee that question.
There you go. Ask her that one.
Yeah. If you were a superhero, what sort of powers would you have?
Oh, I always liked Batman because there were no superpowers. It was just his mind.
Yeah. So what do you think your costume? So you would be like Mind Man.
Mind Man. Yeah, that's good.
What do you think your costume would look like?
Oh, it would have to be very dark.
Okay. So here's what I'm envisioning, because you're in New Hampshire. It'd be dark green.
Here we go. At least it's not orange and blue.
Yeah. With a red, and here's a better question that we should probably add to the repertoire. Why do superheroes wear their underwear on the outside of their other onesie?
They're all refugees from a Woody Allen movie.
Have
Bananas.
you ever? Yeah, but have you ever had a brush with the law?
Yes.
Oh, that was a good answer. I like that answer. Okay, what was it?
Oh, just going a little too fast one day.
Yeah. And how fast was a little too fast?
It was probably only about 90.
Oh, there you go.
But just through a construction zone.
Because you were in a hurry.
I was.
Yeah.
And it was Sunday, and they weren't working.
Yeah.
But it's still against the law.
Have you ever been on TV?
Yes.
In what capacity?
Giving advice about environmental problems, mostly.
And because that was your specialty, was it not, as a professor?
It's what it was. Mostly riverine systems, but I spent a long time talking about Chernobyl when Chernobyl melted down.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And when you say, in what capacity? Were you talking about what it would do to the environment, obviously?
Correct. What the potential was for, various cancers in the future, various kinds of impacts of gamma and beta radiation and things like that in the environment, right? And
did you ever go to that area at some point to investigate, or?
No, I never did. No.
Probably wise. Probably wise. I really don't understand the human race that is now kind of a tourist attraction.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that one either.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on that one. How about you, Bruce? Where are you on that one?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Well, let's go to a radiation zone.
Yeah. Okay. Who's your best friend?
My wife.
And her name is?
Sue.
Okay. Does she know you're moving to New Hampshire?
She better. She's already up there.
She's already up there?
Yes, she is.
She going to spend the winter there?
No, she'll be back home in about a month.
There you go. So how long?
She getting the snowblower ready?
Yeah, she's tuning up the snowblower.
She's got it tuned up.
Yeah, won't be too far off.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Is it a John Deere?
Yes, it is.
There you go. Nothing runs like a deer.
You bet.
My lawn tractor is 32 years old and still goes like the day I bought it, almost.
Very good.
Except, there's a few dings and scrapes. What's your favorite zoo animal?
Favorite zoo animal? That's a good one. I like so many of them. Probably giraffes.
That's a popular answer, eh, Bruce?
Yeah, giraffes are up there. Yeah,
I've seen them. I've seen them in the wild, and they're beautifully elegant animals in the wild. In zoos, not so much, but in the wild, they're absolutely gorgeous.
Do you prefer baseball or hockey?
Baseball.
If you could choose only one professional sports team to root for, would it be the Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Oh my God! It can't be the Lightning.
If you could only choose one professional sports team to root for, would it be the Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Well, in that case, I'll go for Detroit.
Okay.
I know that's a bad answer, but
I don't know if it is. I don't think it's bad all the way around. If you were stranded on if you were stranded on a desert island with just one person, would you prefer it to be with Bruce the Mailboy or Lionel the evil overlord?
I think I would like to talk with Bruce.
There you go. How about that?
About some hydrologic problems.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You guys could talk water.
We could.
Yep.
Boy, I bet you guys are fun at a party.
Well,
you could talk a little Q equals KIA. It's all sorts of fun.
See, you know all that groundwater stuff. I know all the surface water stuff.
Well, I did my master's on groundwater surface water interactions. So
there you go. See? I did. I taught river mechanics for a lot of years.
I'm telling you, think this podcast is good? There's a podcast. Groundwater versus surface water. You be the judge. And finally, last but not least, what's your favorite podcast?
Oh, A Modeler's Life.
There you go. Okay, well, now it's time.
Now it's score time.
It's score time. It's time for us to give you your score from the
we got to do a little bit of cipher here.
Yeah, we got a cipher here. We always got a cipher.
Okay, got that. I got a gazinta there.
Yeah, if it gets into you always
The
got
gazintas. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You got it. Okay, you done already?
Well, no, I'm just going wow at some of the scores I got. Hang on a minute.
None of them are mine, but he's got a lot of scores over there.
Yeah, I got lots. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's have it.
Okay, his. I must admit, he was one of the few who snapped off answers pretty quickly. It wasn't like, well, what do you think of a beer can? Well, let's see. We got the big ones. He was quick, concise with most of his answers. The zoo animals he thought a bit about, but he came up with a good answer. I liked his answer, although I was kind of confused because he said he liked baseball, and then given the team to root for, he's wondering if root for the Lightning, which is a hockey team. So,
well, it is.
That kind of had me confused a bit there. But I went with the Tigers, which is okay by me. I like the fact he'd like to talk hydrogeology with me on some desert island.
There you go.
We could maybe drill a well or something. But anyhow, all in all said, you're going to be amazed here, Lionel. I came up with a 4.193.
Holy mackerel!
I know, it's like stratospheric.
That's great. That's out of 100, Jim. By the way,
I understand.
Yeah, but that's an amazing score.
Yeah, it is a very good score. It's an excellent score. And if he gets a good score from me, it'll be even better.
Ain't happening.
Yeah. So I was the opposite, Bruce. I was kind of annoyed at the quickness of some of his replies because I thought he just wants to get out of here.
Well, but then again, when you asked him about the contact comments, he snapped that up pretty quick. So you got to give him credit on that one.
Yeah, and he didn't mention ketchup, so.
True.
And he was a little confused about N scale.
Yeah.
But his favorite model railroad was good. Gore defeated. Most influential model railroader, that was good. He liked scenery and included building structures. That was good. He DCC. He mentioned our sponsor.
Yeah, Jim will be happy about that.
Jim will be happy about that. And then I started losing interest when we got to where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
Yes.
And he mentioned Micromart, and then we had to kind of spoon feed him for him to give a plug to the NMRA about the partnership program.
Yeah.
And then he thought. Then we quickly discovered he knew all about Rusty Stumps and being traded to the Cubs.
Yes. That was not many people know that, but that's good.
Yeah, exactly. It was the year he's going to be a Golden Glover too.
It was.
And he had a favorite, and his favorite train event was the narrow gauge convention, which he refuses to go to. A pair of shoes. He knew he didn't. And then, what's your favorite pie? That kind of threw me because there's one answer, and being a river water guy. How do you decide, Jim, in school that you want to be a guy about river water?
Somebody pays you money.
In school?
Yeah. As a graduate student, I had a research grant to work on the Tongue River, which is a tributary of the Yellowstone. And that sort of set the whole career.
Okay. And what was the study about?
It was about essentially developing a computer program to combine in-channel hydraulics and biological demand.
Wow. What, did they have computers back then?
They did indeed. He wrote them all on IBM cards on decks.
Punch cards, yeah.
Punch cards.
And that's what was
Watt 5.
That was the last department that my dad managed at IBM in Toronto, was the card department. Punch card. He used to bring boxes of them home. That would
Yeah,
See, those would be good for paper modeling.
be yeah.
they would be. Yeah.
Cardstock, yeah. And his favorite superhero, of course, was Batman.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. And he was going to be a mind guy. He was going to be Mind Man. And he did gain points with me because he had a brush with the law.
Yes.
Here's where I became confused. This is what lost me. Is that he likes the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Which is blue and white. And his two choices was the Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are blue and white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did he make the jump from the blue and white teams of hockey all the way over to the orange and gray teams of baseball?
Well, because the Tigers are also blue and white in their home union.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they're usually orange and black.
And so are the Rays, too.
No,
True enough.
There's no point in talking about them.
Hey, they're good this year.
This is the day after I went to the Cleveland Browns home opener with my son.
Oh, Lord help us. That was a massacre.
Oh, my God. I have never seen 80,000 people so disgruntled, or 50 or 60,000 people. And it was like one mass bad mood.
What a game. Oh, my goodness.
They had more penalties than they'd had since 1951.
Well, it's a record.
Yeah. When my son and I stayed till the end of the game, and I don't think there was 5,000 people in the stadium.
It was very empty when I tuned in partway through the fourth.
Yeah. It was like people just got, and they had so much optimism at the start, and then it was like some sort of religious. I don't know. It's like some sort of mass. It was like some sort of mass exodus of bad. It was like it is the factory of sadness. The Cleveland Stadium is the factory of sadness. You take it. What do you do? Is in one end goes cheerful, happy, optimistic people, and it spits out horribly disgruntled and unhappy people.
Game after game after game.
It is the factory of sadness. Geez, you know what? I had him coming in at about 5.6 until he got me talking about the Cleveland Browns.
Uh-oh.
So after everything I added in the Detroit Tigers, I got him at 2.81.
Still not a bad score.
Not a bad score, no. You add the two together, and you're going to come out around 3, and
solidly in the middle of the pack.
All right.
3.5, solidly in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
All right, so Jim, you're moving to New Hampshire.
Whereabouts in New Hampshire?
Conway.
Yep. Conway Scenic Railway.
You bet.
Ah.
Take the Notch train.
So how far from Conway? Like how close is the nearest Home Depot?
There is a Home Depot in Conway.
Okay, well, how close is it?
Oh, 5 miles.
Wow. So you got a 400-acre farm, like right on the outskirts of Conway.
That's correct.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of snow in the end of the driveway that way. The guy will be sitting at the end of the street. That's what he does. They sit at the end of the street.
Waiting for you.
Yeah, waiting for you. Waiting for you to get it all cleaned up, and then boom. Let's drop 3 feet in there just to help this guy out.
Here comes the rube. Let's get him again.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bruce, I think that went pretty well, don't you?
It went very well. It was good. It was fun, as all Kelly questions are.
So Jim, so that the
Jim, by the way, we will autograph your tinfoil hat for you, and you can take that home as a lovely parting gift.
Hot damn.
Yeah. Take it with you to the next NMRA board meeting.
I'll do that. I'll wear it too.
Go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll look like everybody else.
Did you know that Charlie Getz says every time somebody orders online, a kitty dies?
I can believe that. That sounds like something from Charlie.
Actually, I think it's a kitten. I was going to, oh yeah. So just so the NMRA knows that the Modeler's Life is a supporter of the NMRA, just like we did at the end of your interview, tell us something spectacular about the NMRA and why everybody should be a member of the NMRA.
It's the place to go to meet all the best modelers and the place to go to learn the most about model railroading.
And a place for camaraderie and
Absolutely.
friendship and fellowship.
You'll meet people you never met before. You'll meet people who you never thought you'd meet, and they'll all become good friends.
Yeah. And okay. And Bruce, you want to give out our email address?
Sure. Our email address. Send us an email. Let us know what you think of our podcast, suggestions, whatever. We like to hear from our viewers. Our email address, modelerslife, modelers with one L, modelerslife@gmail.com.
And we have a website, modelerslife.com. If you go there, you're going to find out all kind of interesting stuff about our podcast. And one other thing, I believe our new sister podcast will be groundwater versus surface water.
Yes.
That'll be
It's
fun.
going to be a spin-off podcast.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
Yeah. Which is best for drinking. Time for a dip. I don't think we can have Jim help us with the end, can we? I don't even think he knows what that would be.
No.
So, Bruce,
Do you trust me?
I
Okay.
absolutely trust you. So that's it, Jim. So thanks very much. And Jim, remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
Hydrogeologists.
All right. What are they?
By 4 car crushing action Saturday at the Spectrum. Burning motor coaches battle it out in the mud bog with special guest stars Heather Locklear and Knight Rider Car Kit.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
Okay, Jim, you're a guy that knows a lot about water.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question that has been plaguing me for years. You know what? You're a world traveler. This is going to be perfect for you. This is a question that has plagued me for years that I think you might have the answer to.
Uh-oh.
On Gilligan's Island,
Oh, no.
they went out
Yeah.
they went for a 3-hour cruise. Now this is in the mid to early 60s.
Right.
And so a 3-hour cruise is an hour and a half out and an hour and a half back. You were in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't the Coast Guard, wouldn't they even back then in the 60s have enough knowledge about the weather to be able to tell them that if you leave now and you're going out for an hour and a half, you're going to get hit by this crazy storm that's going to wash you up? Like, how could they possibly not know about this storm when they're only going an hour and a half out of port?
Well, considering the number of ships we lose off the coast of Florida because somebody said, don't go out in the storm, and they do anyway, why not? I don't know. I've always wondered about that myself. Of course, I wondered why you would take your entire wardrobe with you for a 3-hour cruise. So,
Well, that's another problem for a different day.